Good afternoon everyone. Today we are going to discuss about control structures. Last class we have seen some of the programming skills and sequential programming. In that we already able to know how to write the code for PERL. We computed the average by using the formula by taking a list data type. In the same way we have seen some of the finding the Fahrenheit to Celsius, Celsius to Fahrenheit temperature, all those formula based computations we have done using the PERL language. In this class, we will see some control structures so that we are going to write the efficient programming. Suppose if you see your DSP or signal processing, where for a second we are going to get many number of samples. Suppose you want to perform the MAC operation on thousands of samples, there only two operations are there, addition and the repeated addition and multiplication by shifting the sample. In that case, you need not write all the time by taking the samples all the time. You can't multiply and you can't do the things in a repeated way. In such a cases, if you write the control structure, that means if you put them in a loop, then it will be easier. So today we will learn some control structures which are present in the PERL, so that we are going to write the efficient program in PERL. So coming to the PERL control structures, what are control structures available in PERL? If you see, all the control structures are divided into two kinds. One is the branching statements, another one is the loop statements. Now if you see branching statement, all of we are familiar in, already we come across many languages, C, C++, Java and VHDL. In all those languages, the simple statement is if. So if you see here, branching statement, which is nothing but a if statement. After that if you see, this is nothing but a branching statement, which is nothing but a if statement. And later on we will come across the loop statements and miscellaneous statements, which are useful to stop the loop or to repeat the loop or to exit the loop conditions. Some miscellaneous statements also we will see. So out of these, first we will start with the if statement. Okay. So now move on to the next one, which is nothing but a if statement. Before going to see the if statement, loop and all those things, first we will see how execution will take place in normal conventional programming. In normal conventional programming, if you assume these are the different statements, execution is sequential. If you see here, execution is sequential. After executing of this statement, control will transfer to the next statement. After this next statement, like this, sequential execution. Whereas coming to here, if you see, already I introduced you two kinds of control structures. One is the selection kind, another one is the iteration kind. In case of selection, here your condition is there. Whatever condition you want to check, that condition will be there. If the condition is true, you are going to execute this block of statement. If condition is false, you are going to execute this block of statement. So this is how selection, which block, based on your condition, whether you want to execute this block or you have to execute this block. That depends upon the condition, whether it is a true or it is a false. So selection will be taken place based on the condition, whether it is a false or true, then you will execute that block. Finally you come to the end of the looping. Now coming to the iteration, in case of iteration, first you will check the condition and you know, in certain cases you know the how many number of iterations this block of statements has to be executed. That will be taken place in for loop. Whereas in while loop, if the condition is true, automatically you will execute this block of statements. Whenever condition fails, then you have to transfer the execution. So this is the way how we have to do the things. So now we will see So it is nothing but earlier whatever the programming we are doing, that is nothing but a linear programming, linear execution. That means here we will do each statement one by one. Whereas in the control structures, what control structures is, here we have seen two kinds, conditional expressions as well as the looping mechanism. So these two are collectively known as control structures in PERL. So here we have to going to see these two kinds of the control structures. That is the reason why this PERL language is also known as control language. So the in loops you are already seen. Here we are going to repeatedly execute the block of statements. Next we will see how these things are happening. Now see the flow chart. First we start with the conditional control if statement. If is having three forms. One is the simple if. If the condition is true, you are going to execute a block of statement, you will end the loop. That is the one thing. Second if is, if the condition is true, you are going to execute a block of statement, and if the condition is false, you are going to execute the another block of statement. This is the second case. Third case is if you want to check the multiple conditions, then you have to start with if. If the condition is false, then you have to check the next if. This structure should be repeated until the 3-4 conditions we can check. So these are the three kinds of formats available in case of if statement. So if you see if, totally three conditions. See, this is the simple if. If the condition is true, simply you will execute and end. Whereas here, both the conditions you are having the possibility. True means you can execute one set, false means you can execute the another set. Then you come to the end. In if else if, this should be repeated. Now we will see the syntax. As already I mentioned, how execution will be continue with the if statement. As already I introduced you, here we are having three different if statement structures. So this is a simple if condition verification. Next you have to verify the block of statements, you have to come to the end. That is a simple if. Second if is if else. If you have to check the condition, if it is true, you have to execute this block of statement, else you have to execute this block of statements. So this is the second condition. Now see the syntax of the third. If here one condition, if the condition is okay, then you can terminate. Else you have to check the another condition, else if. If it is okay, then you have to execute this. If it also fails, how many number of conditions you have to verify, those conditions you have to verify. Finally, if all the conditions are wrong, then you have to check the default. So these kinds of things are nothing but nested ifs. There are many if statements, they are nested together. So this is nothing but the nested if. So finally you can write the if in these three ways. Now we will take up the simple example. Before going to take up the if, finally what you have to remember is, if is nothing but it all the time evaluates the true expression, else condition, else is nothing but it will be for the false condition, and block of statements is nothing but one or more statements are grouped together, then we are just saying them as a block. This is the terminology what we are following here. And coming to the last point which you have to remember pretty well, if you see in C, braces are optional. You see, open and close of the block we are representing with the braces. So if it is a VHDL, generally you will write begin and end for the starting and ending of the loop. Whereas here we are representing with the open and closed braces. In C, if you are having a single statement, no need to write the braces. But here that was not the case. Here the point here is braces are not optional. In PERL, braces are not optional, they are mandatory. You have to remember that. Now we will see the simple example. Now see here we are checking the nested if condition. What is in this program? I have to check different cities whether they are the east coast of the US, west coast of the US, or south. In which area that city was situated. That I have to check. At the end, if it is not, these cities are not coming to the picture, then I don't know what kind of city is it. That is the objective. Here I was shown two programs. This program is nothing but, here it is a string data type. Already you people know pretty well, string is playing very important role in PERL. Default data type is PERL. Here your if statement will work on string data or on integer data. So this example comes under the simply we are checking the string data. In the if condition we are checking the string data. Now see, if condition is, as already you know, dollar symbol is for the representation of the scalar variable. So variable is nothing but city. A variable is nothing but city. This is a string, that's why we will use the equivalent to operator. If it is an integer, then you can use this operator. But it is a string data, on string data we are verifying the thing, that is the reason you have to use the operator equivalent to. Variable city is equal to New York. Then what is the answer? It is nothing but New York is the north coast of Washington DC. So this is the northeast of the Washington DC. If the city is New York, variable is New York, you can stop here. If the city is not New York, city is the Chicago, then this condition fails. Then again it has to check. That's why it is a if condition. Now variable city is equivalent to Chicago. Variable city is equivalent to Chicago. You have to conclude that Chicago is the northwest of Washington DC. If another condition also I have to check. Then variable is equal to Miami. Then it is nothing but a south of the Washington DC. If variables are not all these three, you are not giving New York, your city is not the New York, it is not the Chicago, it is not the Miami. Let us say it is a Penn State. Then what is to be done? I do not know. Then it will bypass this route, it will bypass this route, it will also bypass this one. It has to, your control will come to this point. Simply it will say, I do not know where the city is, sorry. So this is the way how execution will be taken place in if statement. Now see, this is integer data. Earlier we worked with the string data, if statement with the string data. Now it is the integer data. Now I want to check the maximum value. Suppose here, as you know that this is the variable. Dollar symbol is the indication of the variable, that we know. Already we studied dollar. A trade symbol is for the array and percentage. These are the symbols we will use to represent the data type, whether it is a scalar data or it is a array data or it is a hash data. So it is a dollar, it is a variable, scalar variable. Scalar variable A is greater than maximum. Maximum value is there, one variable maximum is there. If the variable A is greater than the maximum variable, then simply set your threshold maximum to A. A should be assigned to the maximum. So here it is a simple if statement. It is nothing but a simple if statement. Now see here. Here you are having two variables. A and B, two variables are there. If A is greater than B, so let us say maximum as A. Or else, if B is greater, if this condition fails means A is less than B. Then maximum value is out of A and B, maximum value is B. So now you have to maximize maximum value with initialize with B. If two values are there, that is the way how you, instead of two, if three values are there, then you have to write, first you have to check A and B, that is in one if condition. Again you have to check A with C, then you have to go with the else condition. So this is the way how you can use the if statement. Now coming to the here, if else if. See, in this case, suppose you want to check what is your grade. One more parameter is, in these cases already we initialized A and B. Whereas in this case, now read out the first statement. Print enter your grade. So here we are not initializing the grade. You can input the value of your grade through the keyboard. For that we are using stdin function. Stdin function is for inputting the value from the keyboard. For to just to give you the message to know when to start, whether your program was executed or not. For that we are using simple print statement. That print statement echo you enter your grade. Then whenever this statement was executed, you are able to input the value from the keyboard. So now grade is nothing but into the variable is the grade, scalar variable is the grade. Into this grade, first input your grade. If your grade is less than 70, based on your grade, whether you got the A grade, B grade, or which grade you are going to have, that can be finalized. If your grade is less than 70 marks, simply less than 70 means you get D grade. If your grade is less than 80, then you can get the C grade. If your marks are less than 90, then you can get the B grade. So if marks are greater than 90, simply you will be in the A. This condition no need to check. Since the slab is 70, 80, 90, 100. So we are already checked 70 condition, 80 condition, 90 condition. No need to check. Only one default condition is there that you need not check. Simply you can conclude. That's why suppose you entered the 90. Suppose you entered your marks as 92. So first come here. Your grade is less than 90. So this condition fails. So it will bypass us here. Control will bypass us here. So here again it will check grade into the grade variable. Now already from the keyboard you are giving into the grade as 92. So 92 is less than 80. Again this condition fails. So it will bypass us. Again it will come here. Now again it will verify 92 is less than 90. Again it is a false condition. Simply it will come here. It will print this message. So now this is the way how if condition will work. Now see, this is the another example. In this example you want to decide given number is the how many digits it is having. Same way, first you take a variable. Variable is nothing but the first write down the echo statement. Take a variable. In this case your variable is the number. Through keyboard you enter any number. Now start checking whether it is a 2-digit number, 3-digit number, 2-digit, 3-digit or 4-digit, 5-digit, like that. 2-digit means, as you know, that 00 to 99. So you have to check the condition whether it is less than 100 or not. 3-digit means 99, the range 3-digit is 999 to 1000, like that. You check the upper limit point and you check and you decide whether it is a 3-digit or 4-digit. So this is the way how we are writing the program here. Simply we are inputting, and the threshold in this case is 100, 1000. 1000 means you see your number should be, this condition satisfied means maximum value in 3 digits is 990. If it is 990 less than 1000. So once it becomes more than 1000, let us say 1004, it fails. In the same way, in every condition we have to check and we have to finalize whether it is a 2-digit, 3-digit or 4-digit, like that. Right? You please go through this. If you are having any doubt, you please come back to me.